Hello, how are you everybody? So why I'm doing this in English because I thought this would be nice to do in English to you know everybody to know what's going on, not in Finnish. So recently I bought this. If this can focus, it's the Fossil Gen 6, and I have been quite impressed how good this device is. It has a lot of sensors and things going on, so it's quite an upgrade to this basically. So I had this Mobvoi TicWatch C2, which was great in some level. I bought it a couple of years, 2 years ago, with like 50 euros, so it was quite cheap. And I had this like one month, and I got a crack to this screen. So yeah, because it was just 50 euros, so it didn't matter. But the problem with this watch was it was quite old, and it had just limited. I don't remember the specs. What was it? But it was it 2100 generation. The Snapdragon uses that, and this was 4100, if I remember correctly. So it was quite big step. But yeah, also then when I bought this was quite a buggy, a lot of bugs and slow-ish, not so responsible with things like timer. Example, timer, you need to press a lot of the buttons that they didn't do anything though. So yeah, it it was good in the way that to watch basically the time and date. So it yeah, but actually when I deleted all the bloatware with what was in it, then it was quite actually impressive then, because it then worked kind of smoothly. So if you have Linux machine or Windows with some capability to run ADB commands, then you can delete bloatware from this device. I guess also from other Wear OS devices, I guess so. But yep, the Mobvoi watches, the ADB works, and also with the fossils also. So yeah, the basic thing that I wanted to know, because the problematic thing with these devices is the battery life. It isn't that good. But actually in this Fossil Gen 6 there is at least a quick charge, which is quite good. It doesn't take that much time to get full charge, so that's fine to me. But I want to get more, juice to use this basically, so that it doesn't take that much, the battery. And yeah, because the problem with the battery life is that whatever you use, also about the screen, if you use the screen all the time, it takes the battery basically. And also if the CPU is in use all the time, then it takes also the battery. So I wanted to also, sorry about that, liikennetiedote. Sorry about that. Now I got stuck. So about that, the main thing about these devices is the face, how it looks, how functional it is. This is just a demo of my own, not my own, but I was just modified this default theme. But basically the watches, the faces basically, so that the face has the more the functions that want, and also so that it doesn't drain your battery so much. So I was just debugging myself to check all free apps. Okay, there is a lot of faces there, but I have couple that I have tested that I wanted to share to you, and also the ADP connection to the watch itself, because it uses GNU Linux, so there is also top installed, so you can see all the processes and how much CPU is. Help you with this. Can I zoom with this? Maybe, yeah. So you can see basically here that how much every single process is using. And right now, when we with the keyboard, the arrows, I can move basically. If I move with the arrow keys, I can select what thing I want to be high, basically higher. First is higher, and then you know that thing. So the major thing is the CPU, what I was talking about. What application is using more CPU? Right now my own top is using all the CPU basically, and system server, but that I don't know what's the system server. I guess it's something related to watch OS maybe. So and some sensors, and right now it's in idle mode, and we can see I am using Pujie Black right now, and it's using third the most CPU right now, so it's okay. And when we check the memory, it's using 8.9% of the memory itself. So we can go a little bit back. So I have done this kind of listing because I was quite curious how many of these works. So I'm sorry about this. This is quite bad. If you don't know what I'm talking about these things, but I have tested Fossil's own, couple of own, here's 4 Fossil's own faces, and then Phaser application. It was some of the default ones that had some of effects in it. Also watchmaker, it was the free one, because watchmaker didn't have that much of free ones, and I didn't want to pay any because I was testing. And okay, you can make your own watch faces also. Then I wanted to test Pujie because I found out that had quite nice reviews, and I wanted to test also that. And that's all about my tests I know that there is a lot of better, like battery efficient phases, like was it what was it called again? You know, there is a lot of those, but I have only these tested right now. So if we check here, the first one is the CPU. If I zoom a little bit more, sorry that I have no nice, you know, screen recording things. I wanted to just do this with my camera. So the first one is CPU, the second one is the memory usage, and in this section it's in standby mode, so in this mode, and this is then the on screen thing. When I go back, it's in standby mode. So this section is the standby mode. So when we check here, a lot of these we see that the fossil ones is quite good in standby mode, and also in the screen on mode. The CPU, basically Taylor is using a lot of CPU because the second, I don't know what, because there is a lot of constant graphics using things going on, so that's why that the CPU is in 30%. But the memory usage is quite low actually, so that was nice. Then was the blue and machine. That was the blue wasn't using anything CPU. That was quite nice. Basically, the fossil blue was actually quite nice. It isn't using any CPU. Also, the machine was using 5%. The wellness app 4%. So actually and also the wellness was using CPU 0.3. That was, I don't know why it was using some of CPU. This is actually average usage, so it is jumping right there and there. So I was just checking what was where was it actually the most of times using. So that was that. The phaser was tilanne ohi. That was that. And what was that actually? And these ones, I just hate these fucking notifications that comes all the time. So also with the phaser and watchmaker is constantly putting those notifications, and I hate those. And the UIs are quite bad because they if you don't pay the premium, you need to watch the ads all the time. You know, they need to get paid some way, but those were, I don't know, I didn't like those. Phaser was quite good, the UI was good. Watchmakers was that I didn't like. And then there was the third one that I didn't want to actually I deleted it because it was so bad. I don't remember really remember what was it actually, but yeah. Phaser was using a lot of CPUs with those those phases. But actually then when they are off in standby mode, it also depends if there is a lot of moving parts. But this was the best thing, that best result that I got. Some cases there was 75% of the CPU usage in those, so those were a lot of use. Phaser did use a lot of juice in the from the battery. Watchmakers, the default one, they were actually quite good. There was when the screen was on, they were actually similar with the fossil original ones, so it was nice. But then in standby mode, I don't know why it was all the time in 3%. So basically, it wasn't. They was quite similar in. Actually, this was the default watchmaker phases. So I don't know if you use some heavy watchmaker phases, does it change anything? I don't know, but I wasn't that impressed. Then was the pujie, and the pujie default one, I don't know why it uses so much CPU when it was maxed out 20%. I guess it was when I used. Oh, now I understand. It was when I used like some like these ones, these that is inside the face the pujie phases. Actually, this is quite nice. You can get some information, you know, when you. Yep. No, I can't use that, but it was when you go through those things. But it is in 9.3 there and there. Actually, that was the memory size, so 20 is the max. And then in standby mode, 0 to 1, I don't know, the pujie default one was, I don't know what was wrong with that one. Then I have a couple of more pujie phases, and they were quite similar to each other. So I guess 2 to 3% CPU usage is quite actually relevant. And then the memory size is quite big versus the fossil ones, but there's quite a lot of memory in these devices, so that's not a problem. And also this is fine. So I wanted to be the CPU quite so little as possible. That's my process. So if we go back here, I have this one. I have right now the pujie using here, and then we can see that the memory is going up, and okay, we are. I don't know if it will be going up and up, but this is in standby mode right now. No, this is where sorry, I was in wrong. This is the pujie black. 8.9 is the memory, but CPU is in 0. If we go here and wake up this thing, it will go there. It is 2.3. 8 2 it and basically here is some actually there is a lot of moving parts there. Not okay, there isn't that much, but and there is a lot of blacks. So when we are using AMOLED display, it doesn't use that much of juice. So what I will recommend in this, when we are checking here, and you can also test by yourself. You need to go here and go to the settings and basically get what was it again called? Basically, you can get the ADP mode and use the Wi-Fi or the Bluetooth ADP mode. You can check from Google how to do that, and you can get the shell, and you can check the usage in the device itself, and check the memory more. What is it used? My device is using right now everything, but I guess it's caching it somewhere, because I don't know. Also, it's using a lot of swap, which is not good. And I found out some things, problematic things with this. If you're using a lot of like switching with phases, like phaser was that kind of doing that kind of things, that this was going so slow and using so much memory, then it basically froze. So you need to reboot this thing, that you can fresh up the device, because you can't the one thing problematic thing that you can't I didn't find any ways to destroy or disable applications that is running. So example, if I put phaser here, this is one example. I have one phaser there. I will put this on, and it takes some time. Yeah, now we go to the top, and we can find out that how much it's using, or right now the CPU, and I don't really like this phaser because it's bad. You can see when I turn it on, here's some things going on all the time, so it's using a lot of CPU and memory. Okay, then I take it away. I want to use back some. We go to the pujie back. Yep, now it's back, but the application itself is there still, using the memory, not the CPU that much, but the memory is there. So okay, it will in some time stop using and basically delete it, but you can do this also manually. If you take the application ID and put it in here, what was it again? It was damned. I forgot already. It was AM kill. There. It was AM. If you can see it. AM and kill, and then the process name. you can kill that process. Now we go to the top again, and we can see that the phasure is not there anymore. Yep, it's away. There's also, so basically you can do this same thing to everything, and then you can break also this. So sorry about my blabbering. I'm quite bad in English, but I'm learning. And also this is quite new to me, so maybe I forgot something that you already know or something, but I wanted to share this thing. So in my opinion, if you want something that you have functions and you can make your own watches, and that doesn't use all the juice in your wrist, so I suggest to use pujie, in my opinion, or the in fossil, the fossil own phases are also okay, but there wasn't that you know, the thing that I wanted. There was some that wasn't there. But thank you